Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be working on my Pop 68 Camaro. We actually just got it all painted. We were practicing putting the decals on it. Today though, we're gonna be working on the other side. We ended up snapping one of the wheel studs on the tire. You can see we went from a 5-lug conversion to a 4-lug. So today's goal is we're gonna get tire off, brake off, rotor off, all that stuff off, and replace it and put a new one on. So we get it jacked up, we're gonna be ready to go. Here we are, tires off. This is a 13/16 full tire off. What we're looking at right now is broken stud. Boop. So pop brake off, and we're not gonna have to like bleed the brakes or anything like that. So all we're gonna do is pop this off, hang it over to the side with a zip tie, wiggle this off, and then we'll go from there. Whoop. All right, so I got these cracked loose, so we'll be pulling these guys off. Like I said, it's an Allen key, so pretty easy. Here I am pulling up. Yep. Coasting in. You guys can't see my head, but that's all right. No big deal. What I'm doing right now is popping off this dust cover with a screwdriver, I hope. Sometimes they come off with them, sometimes they don't. I'm gonna use my universal hammer. Do a couple love taps. Yeah, it might not come off with this. I might need something like an actual hammer. And give her a couple taps. Get in there. There she goes. Yeah. The issue is that we never pull this stuff apart until something like this happens, so it's always good to lube up your stuff. You know, definitely lube up your rotor and stuff. That's definitely smart. But this kind of stuff, as you can see, there's a cotter key in here. I got the closest thing I got, needle nose, which are wire strippers. Pull that end in, pull that end in, straighten this one just a little bit so it's not so shitty. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna try pulling her out. And what I'm trying to do is pull it out without completely screwing up the cotter key, so I can kind of reuse the cotter key, because I don't think I have any more sitting around. Give her a little twisty twist. Twisty twist, and there we go. Little cotter key, a little bit, that's all right. And these are usually supposed to be just lined up to the next hole. So I'm gonna see if I can spin it with my pliers. I can't, so give me a second, let me get a wrench. Now we got ourselves a crescent wrench or a universal or all 16ths. I don't care what you call it, but in my opinion, it's a lot easier than finding the actual wrench for it, which is probably like 15/16 or something, but this is easier. This comes off. Now what this does is this just holds everything in place. The actual rotor, as you can see, it all pops off. This right here would be your spindle. Give you a little breakdown of what's happening here. You got your spindle, rotor, upper control arm, lower control arm. Obviously your spring and your shock are on the inside. Tie rod's in the back here. Caliper, and that's about it. On this car for 68 Camaro, we actually ran sand tough springs in the front with an extended ball joint, which gives us an extra inch on the top up here to make it actually have more travel, as well as just, you know, 90/10 racing shocks. But pull the gushing up. There's your bushing and washer. It's got a serrated piece in the front, a little nipple right there, little nipple. And what that does, puts in this cup, but that's what locks all this in place. Our bearings look good. Our back bearing looks good. Let me pop her out. It's actually, if I can. Oh, there's a seal, so I don't want to mess with that. But yep, so now we're gonna take this over to the press and we're gonna prop that guy out. Yeah. I'm gonna lay this here. And I'm gonna find something to lay here
that's flat, that will boop, push it right out. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna put an air hammer to it and knock it out. So get something for it. All right, so got this kind of lined up. Got myself a broken extension with a little, what is this, 9mm socket, because nobody ever uses a 9mm. And then you can see that just fits in there. Fits just right about in there. And we're gonna hope that this presses it out or it explodes. But it'll all be on camera, so we'll see. Like that. It's coming out like butter. So I'm just pressing right on the head of the stud, pushing it down. Now, if yours is snapped off and it's at a weird angle, maybe hit it with a little bit of grinder just to get it flat. But this is perfect. Boom. And like that, I have no idea where it went.
Did you start?
Oh.
Welcome back to the channel. Oh. All right, we pressed in, or Nick pressed in the one rotor. You can see which one he pressed in, which was the shiny one in there. And now we're gonna reinstall it. So the difference is these pressed in ones have a little groove that has to be basically pressed into the little slits. And then, yeah, that's about it. So now, get this smacked on. Have the bearing still in there. Bearing goes over the spindle. This sets up against there. Grab yourself your bushing from here. Get doing the bushing in there. Sometimes they get stuck. There we go. Now your serrated part on the washer. You want to jam that in there. Now you're going to take bolt, nut. All you're going to do is tighten it up so you can get the cotter key in, because the whole point of this nut is for the cotter key to hold it all basically in place. Snug it up just a little bit with the wrench so we get it pretty close. And we might have to go a little tighter or looser, just depends. See the hole right there. Back it up just a hair. Make sure this spins freely. Make sure there's no in and out play. Now we're going to stick our cotter key wherever the hole's at. I have to go a little bit further. There we go. And then the hole is here. Kind of get it lined up, and I kind of just tap it through. So that's all the way almost in. Sometimes these don't want to go all the way. So we'll grab our pliers and pull. There we go. So that's in. Fold your top tab over. And then your bottom tab down. Make sure it's not in the way of your cup. And then you put your dust cover back on. Give it a tap. Make sure that's all the way seated. And that's all the way in. So last but not least, we have our caliper. And check the pads, make sure they look semi-decent. Sometimes you have to compress the pad in, but we're gonna try to. Bolts are the same length. They're for the caliper because they have threads in the beginning and then it's basically all shank at the end. Go right through the back of it. Give another little wiggle. And the trick is you don't want to fully tighten it. You just want to get that one in. And I'm just gonna blindly shove this one in through the back side. It's important to check all your other stuff while you're in here. Looking at your A-arms, your bushings, basically everything you can look in here, because not too often that you're really working in here. So here's those extended ball joints that we talked about earlier with our setup. And you can see that there's actually about a 1/2 inch extra that we have, and that actually gave us an extra 1/2 inch on our downward travel. So that actually brought us to closer to 5.5, 6 on travel compared to 3 or 4 that we had before. And also you can see inside the spring perch, we actually do have a spacer in there to give the spring a little bit more rebound. So when it actually does, it actually has a lot more spring. And that was mainly because we had the weight difference of the spring. It was kind of a middle number, so that actually kind of helped. And this is tedious. So that's tight. Cotter key was in here, rotor's in there. Spins, touching our brake. So that's good. Next, we throw the tire on and get the lug nuts in, make sure it all works. We got our tire, smack that bad boy on. Right there. You can see our new stud, a little shorter, but it is pointing out just enough. We'll make sure this guy threads in. And she does. Oops, wrong way. And these are, how wide are these, Nick? 4.5? 4.5 wide rims. So they're skinnies, basically with the Riley look on there. So we put the center cap on there, put the beauty ring all on there. And it looks stockish. I keep putting them backwards. But they are a lot lighter. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these. I like to use the Ugga Dugga with the chrome socket, of course. All right. Started it. Well, torque that one. So we're torquing them to 70. Seems to be the magic number for us. Everything doesn't come off. We don't lose a tire. It's been working for us. I mean, we haven't snapped any of these yet until the other day when we just used the breaker bar. Thank you, Nikki. But we're good now. So double check, clicking. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, so we're all back together. Hopefully taking it back to the track soon after we fixed everything and probably reset the suspension. But till then, see you guys later.